Hello and welcome to this mid-morning taste challenge. This is the last of the Canadian whiskeys for about 6 months, I guess, maybe a year, but probably not that long. This is Black Velvet, imported Black Velvet, blended Canadian whiskey, bottled by Black Velvet in Kentucky, but it's really not Black Velvet in Kentucky. It's Heaven Hill in Kentucky. Heaven Hill acquired it from another company a few years ago. These whiskey brands change, and even the whole distilleries change hands, seem like every few months. Introduced in 1951, produced in Canada. Like I said, bottled in Kentucky. I bought this travel bottle. Said blended at birth, distilled and aged 3 years in oak under the supervision of the Canadian government. And they've got a crown for King Charles III of Canada and two lions and all that kind of stuff, four diamonds for whatever reason. It's been around, like I said, since 1951. I think it used to be owned by Hiram Walker. But Hiram Walker got bought by somebody, and then they sold this off. The people that bought it sold this off to Heaven Hill. So these travel bottles are convenient if you don't want any metal, and they fit in the suitcase. So they had this at Mathern's for $8.99, and I was like, "What a deal! What a deal!" Then a week later, after I bought it, it was $7.99 until they sold the bottles. I said, "Not as good a deal as I thought." Okay, I'm going to update my notes. Both are Canadian blended whiskeys, bottled in Kentucky. Oh, let me update that because I'm going to. Oh, I got it. Let me update this part from wide world. Because I don't need to be redundant, say bottle in Kentucky twice. Okay, here is WD Winn-Dixie Premium Canadian Whiskey with natural flavors. There's a fleur-de-lis for the French people of Canada. I guess two lines for the British Empire, holding up a shield, some kind of disc, whatever, a disc. I remember this product in Winn-Dixie stores 50 years ago. I wasn't examining whiskey 50 years ago, but, I just remember people would get Winn-Dixie liquors for, like a crawfish boil or watching a football game, like a big group of people watching a ball game, that kind of thing. Not where you want anything too expensive, just something they can make little cocktails with, little highballs, knock it back, watch the game. Okay, so pretty popular in Louisiana. This stuff seems to sell on a steady clip. And they just, whatever people want to buy. The bourbon people buy the WD bourbon, the scotch. Yeah, there is a WD scotch. Gin, two types of rum, two types of vodka, and probably some I'm overlooking. Not brandy, though, for some reason. Got my leg up because I got injured yesterday at work, and I'm recovering from that. I got a bad wound, and I got a lot of stitches and 13. But I'm able to walk. It wasn't on my knee, it was down there, but it was hell last night trying to sleep. The pain was so bad. All right. Plus having to sleep on one side the whole night, you can't really stay comfortable, at least. Just thank God it wasn't hurt worse, but it was terrible. It's horrific, really. All right. Oh, good. Even again. Well, close enough. All right. We talking about millimeters difference. One is a little bit tan, and the other one is more like honey. But they're close. They're close. Do the screen share. I can put on these lamps. This is not dawn busters. I don't need to let the natural light bring in the dawn. All right, let's do screen share. So there's WD, Winn-Dixie Canadian whiskey, sold only Winn-Dixie, makes sense. They're owned by Aldi now, so I assume things are going to change. I don't know how much. I don't know if Aldi's going to start getting a brand made. I don't know what's going to happen, but they bought Winn-Dixie last month, the complete deal. So there you go with that. $13.99 till the end of the month. And each bottle of Winn-Dixie or WD liquors has a pretty interesting pen and ink drawing. Like the Scotch has a ship. The gin has a different type of drawing. The tequila. And as I get through these, I'll show them to you. They look pretty nice for a private label. Like a lot of times private label brands, they use like the artwork. It's really bad looking, but not in this case, really. The bourbon has a horse and a carriage track or whatever. It looks pretty good. Okay, here's the Black Velvet. They say remarkably smooth. Yeah, I don't find it's very smooth, but they claim hints of caramel, vanilla, coconut, and rye spiciness. Black Reserve. Oh, see, they changed the label. It used to be aged 8 years. Now it's up to 10. Okay. It says aged to perfection for 8 years, but they're doing a bottle that says 10. So they need to, Heaven Hill might want to update their website, right? Caramel, peach, apple. Never had any of those flavors. I know they have a following. Then there's the Heritage here. First came out the barrel in 1951 as Black Label, but the original distiller, Jack Napier, sampled it. He changed the name to his signature velvet taste. Might also have something to do with they had trouble getting the trademark since there was already Black Label beer. A mix of high quality grains, including rye and corn. Notice they didn't say of rye, barley, and corn. They said including. So could it also contain wheat? Well, the way they wrote that probably means yeah. Then they're explaining whiskey, K versus whiskey, KEY. There's the lineup showing the 10-year aged. I wouldn't mind trying that. I wasn't too impressed with the 8-year age. I thought it was just as not. I didn't think it was any better than the 3-year age. Just more expensive. Okay. I got them well mixed. I'm not going to glance down at the glasses because then I'll be able to see one's darker. And that'll be cheating, and I'm not here to cheat. Yeah, smell like cereal grains fermented and then distilled. I mean, I'm not trying to be flip or sarcastic, but that's literally what it smells like. Maybe this has got the flavoring in it. Are the flavors bad? Or in this case, the aromas, are they bad? No, smell fine. So they're both 80 proof. They're both bottled in Kentucky. Heaven Hill and Wide World Importers, if you want to believe that's the real name of the company. And if you want to believe Black Velvet Distillers is the real name of that company, yeah. But I mean, I know who the parent company is. I do try to do the research. Sometimes I can't find out, and I'll just say I can't find out. Black Velvet doesn't say anything about flavoring at it, so does it have flavors at it? It might, but it doesn't taste like it. It tastes like they probably should add some flavor in, honestly, but not trying to offend the Black Velvet fans. I know there's many out there. It didn't appeal to me, and I gave it a fair shake on the first bottle, glass, and the second bottle, plastic. Did seem to get a little better, though. Let's go with the taste. Cheers. It's a lot of barrel action going on here. And that bite, I'm telling you, Black Velvet bites back. This has got to be black velvet because it bites back. I always said it's bitey. It's like, blah, blah, blah. You say, now you might say, that's the character. That's character. That's character. It bites back. Okay. You could look at it like that, I guess. Now they claim they put all the whiskey, now, and I know it's true. They claim it makes it better. They take all the different whiskeys, rye whiskey, corn whiskey, barley malt whiskey, and maybe some wheat whiskey, because they said including those three. So that means it's open to others. They blend them together and put them in a barrel for 3 years. Okay. They put them in a barrel for 3 years. Then they take it and bottle it. They say, but other Canadian whiskeys usually age each whiskey separately. They age the corn over there, the rye whiskey over there, the malt whiskey over there, the wheat whiskey over there in separate barrels for varying lengths of time, at least 3 years. That's the minimum. We know this is 3, though. So we know this is 3 because they distill it and immediately blend the different whiskeys. Then they let it set for 3 years. Then they take it out, ship it to Kentucky, and bottle it. So we know it's not whiskeys as young as 3 years. It's just 3 years. No knock against it. I'm just saying. Now, in this case, the premium Canadian, there could be some in here older than 3 years old. Although, considering the price point, you'd have to be very suspicious if that could be the case. And they make no age statement on there anyway, so probably is 3 years. But like I'll say, it could be one in there 4 or 5 years, but I wouldn't put money on that at all. And you never could put money on because you can never determine what it is anyway. They're not going to tell you. Burley Seldman says you, and I'm going to say you back to you, Burley. All right, Winn-Dixie, WD, Black Velvet. How do I know? Well, because there's nothing in the world except other Sazerac whiskeys taste like that. Now you said, you didn't say Sazerac, you said Wide World Importers. That's right, I said Wide World Importers of Frankfort, Kentucky. Haha. Anyway, I think you could figure out who the real name is, but anyway, we'll leave that open to interpretation. Canadian Limited, the Northern Lights, Caliber, which is a Walmart brand that I have seen in other stores. Look like they have some spillover that they allow to go into other stores. Brand Legacy, which has been discontinued, but I still can find it. Not that I want to. That's 4. Rich and Rare, that's 5. Canadian Hunter, that's 6. James Fox, that's 7. And this Winn-Dixie, that WD, that's 8. Those 8 different whiskeys are, it seemed like they're impossible to tell apart. But I did do all those taste challenges and I only got it wrong twice. All right. Did all of those in-house taste challenges, one brand versus another from the same company, almost certainly from the same distillery, and we know they all bottle at the same bottling plant in Frankfort, Kentucky. But I only got it wrong twice. So they have little tiny taste differences. Would it be enough to make me pay more one versus the other? No. No, I would not do that. We talk about minimal differences. So yeah, you may as well get what's cheapest, and which in that case is the Caliber. I was about to say this, $13.99. How could it be cheaper? But actually, still trying to get rid of this cough. It's going away though. But sorry about that. But actually, Walmart's brand Caliber is $12.88 for this big bottle. $12.88 with a big purple label. Yeah, that's probably about as low as you could ever find it. Now, am I going to get anything? But I didn't get anything else confused. When I went up against other companies' brands, nah, didn't get it confused. No way. So could you, I don't know what the flavoring is. I suspect vanilla and like walnut oil or pecan oil. Can't prove it. That's just what it tastes like. Maybe. That's what it tastes like. Maybe. Is it a bad flavor? No. Is it a euphoric, like amazing flavor? I can't believe I'm drinking this. It's so incredible. Definitely not. But it's fine. You know, I don't mind it. I like vanilla. I like walnut oil, pecan oil, or whatever it is, almonds. I like its low profile kind of mildness. Yeah, it's fine. Black velvet. I don't know. Seems like maybe they might be tweaking it with a little flavor. Now, I mean, I'm starting to think they might be tweaking it with a little flavor. And you say, what is the flavor? I don't know. There's something in there like ooh, like a little pinprick of flavor, like, and you say that ain't barley, that's not corn, that's not wheat, and that's not rye. That's something else lurking around in there. Now, you could find out because you could write an email to Heaven Hill or call them on the phone. Say, I got a question, a product question. Oh, yes. How can we help you? You could ask them point blank. Does Black Velvet Canadian whiskey contain any natural flavorings? If they try to skirt around the question and say, well, we appreciate you calling, we don't disclose our recipes and all, you got the answer. If they tell you definitively no, it contains no added flavorings, it's all grain, then you also have the answer. So that's the only way, that's the only two ways they can answer it. If they tell you no, then you know it has no flavoring. If they try to sidestep the issue saying, blah, 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 we don't discuss the ingredients, or I'm not at liberty to discuss this, well, then you know the answer. I'm not going to take the time or the effort to do it because it doesn't really matter to me either way. It's not that important, but you could do it. Actually, you could do that with any whiskey that you suspect might have flavoring added. Call the company, or if you don't like calling, because people say, I don't call on the phone. Who ever heard of talking on the phone? You're supposed to only text. Phones are for texting. Telephone. I think phone means phonics, sounds, something, sounds like microphone, headphone. But anyway, that's cool. You could text them. If you get the same kind of evasive answer, you'll know. But you could do that with any Canadian whiskey brand, assuming there's a contact point. Any of them. You say, I wonder if this has flavor. Write to the company. If they won't answer the question, you got your answer. You got your answer. It's like you ask a person, sir, are you now or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Pretty simple question to answer. Are you now, that means currently, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? If they say absolutely not, okay, fine. You were under oath, but you say no. Now, if we find out otherwise, you could be guilty of perjury, but we already knew the answer. We were just asking the question to see what you were going to say. We did the research. We checked your background. We know the answer. If you refuse to answer the question, like, how dare you ask me this question, Senator? This is an insult. 7 years ago, our country was, our forefathers brought forth on this nation. And it's like, no. We don't want to hear this. We're not here to hear. We didn't ask you that to hear a speech. You know, our men died in the last war to protect our freedom. How dare you ask me such a question? I'm appalled. No. We're not asking. Look, just so if you don't answer the question, then you know the answer to the question. That's why I use that example. And you can't be charged with perjury because you never said no, you weren't a member. You just dodged the question and start making speeches about the Emancipation Proclamation or the Gettysburg Address or the Articles of Confederation, whatever, you're trying to dodge. We didn't ask you about all of that. We're not here to talk about the Articles of Confederation. This is asking a simple question. Like, what neighborhood did this happen in? You say this man attacked you and his friends, they assaulted you and you were traumatized. You could never forget it, right? That's right. I never can forget this. It's so important to me. What neighborhood was that in that town? Neighborhood? Oh, I don't remember what neighborhood. You don't remember the neighborhood. That's amazing because you just said you could never forget this traumatic event. It seemed like most people would know what neighborhood it was in, but you think it was in this town. Okay, it's kind of questionable. Most people can remember key events. You may not remember what store you bought a loaf of white bread in 1979 because that's a common thing that doesn't really enter into your mind. But this other question is most people will kind of know that, but anyway. All right. Tom says, cheers. Good day, Paul Harvey. Yep. I used to listen to that show. Sure did. All right. We all take care now. And the winner here, I guess I would say the winner is Black Velvet because you can still get it pretty cheap, but it's not that fantastic. Is it better than the premium Canadian? I would say it is better. Okay, I'm gonna say it's better, but there's a lot of buts with this. But it's not way better, and you might not really want to pay that much more. It's a question. The question is, or the answer is, I don't know really the answer. So, sort of a pick 'em kind of thing. Pick 'em. That doesn't seem right, does it? Like a private label shouldn't be in a pick 'em with a name brand, but just telling you what I'm tasting, it's not really running away with the show. All right, so now that this is over with, been a good series, actually. Could have been a fiasco, honestly, but it went pretty well. Went pretty well, all things considered. Now coming up, starting hopefully Thursday, if that works out. We're getting into Irish whiskey. Now we're going to travel across. We went across the border and did Canada. Now we're going across the Atlantic Ocean to the Emerald Isle, Ireland. And we're going to bring in an Irish whiskey called Iad and Stills, which their website, now see, they're clear about it. Their website says this is produced for Trader Joe's stores. All right. They don't try to dance around it, try to evade the questions. They're telling you, we make this whiskey for Trader Joe's. It's a contract. And it was only started last year, 2023. They're just telling you openly, we're an old company going back over 20 years. Well, not an old company, but we've been going back over 20 years. But this is specifically made for Trader Joe's. I like that kind of openness, you see. And that's a beautiful product. You'd be amazed. You say, no private label can taste good. Well, you might not have ever tasted Iad and Stills. That thing is going to battle. I'm telling you right here now, you can call me on it later if you want. I'll if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I'm saying right now, that thing is going to battle. That thing is going to go up against Jameson, Tullamore, DEW, Patty's, and all the rest. I'm telling you right now. Let's get to it. See you in 2 days.